to get rid of it. We might be fucking dead by the time they get rid of the guns. You know what I mean? It just but the process of it, you might be right. 6 months from now, or even a year from now, say another Las Vegas shooting happens, wherever the fuck, the massive thing, whatever, dude. But again, when that dude did it, he used what they call a bump stop. He turned his semi-automatic weapons into fully auto. Now, what a lot of people don't understand about that is the fact that there's no fucking way that you can use two hands, two bump stops on two different rifles in order for you to shoot fully automatic because of the way it's set up.
Right.
So that why it didn't make sense at all to me that they said, oh, he had two hands. That it makes no fucking sense. No. But regardless, again, shit like that happens again. It's always going to be a process. Like you said, it can get started. But as far as when it's going to finish, fuck, dude, we'll be dead by then, bro.
And for like two weeks, we focus on that one story, and it just matters who folds within that 2 weeks. Who's going to fold enough to make some drastic changes to take away a little bit of those Second Amendment rights here and there. If you have, if Georgia loses those two seats, and you have a Democratic fucking Senate all of a sudden, holy shit, let a major disaster happen with a major mass shooting with firearms. Watch what's going to happen with laws that change federally, which is against the Constitution.
Right. And that's the other thing. The fact the Constitution as well. How the fuck because that's what we go by as America, as Americans, is the Constitution, right? So to do things against that, what is it? Everybody always says, oh, you go against the Constitution, you're not American. You should leave the fucking country. So how the fuck is that going to be possible? Because that's what everybody says, right? Every time. That's why we have this shit all in place, because the Constitution, that's what we follow. We all agree with it, whatever the fuck. But if we go against it, then we're not American. We need to be fucking deported, shot, killed, whatever the fuck it is. Right?
Well, how do you feel about
I don't see that ever happening.
How do you feel about the strength of the Constitution in that matter?
I can't speak too much about it because I don't know everything that there is probably to know about it. You probably know more than I do, more than likely. I do know some stuff, just not a whole lot. I'd say the strength of it. I mean, from what I do know, and from what I recently learned, of course, it could be, it's strong, but I think it's always comes down to the way things are worded. It's what gives it the strength behind what it is, because of how it's worded. And that's at the end of the day with our Constitution, that's always about how it's worded, or how us Americans, as we think, is how things are worded and how it's written. So could some things change? Always. But is most of it set in stone to where it's okay and it's going to be like the rest of life? Sure, but it depends what it is.
Well, usually that's the discussion that comes up with the Constitution, is like, is it written in stone and it was what it was, or is it a living, breathing document that kind of changes with time, that can morph over time and change with the times and whatnot?
Well, that's what I mean. That depends what it is. So say in a Constitution, for example, just just an example, say women don't have the right to vote, right? For example.
Right.
So say in the Constitution, it says that. Mm-hmm. So here we are now in 2021, and women still cannot vote. Mm-hmm. Would that be considered to be ridiculous? And should we change that Constitution, right? I think we should.
Well, something like that wouldn't be in the something like that wouldn't be in the Constitution.
No, I know. No, I know. But I'm just saying, what I'm saying is something that is set in stone supposedly, but when you think about it, it can change as times change. So I don't think everything is set in stone. I think they do need to always go back and look and revisit and revise as life goes on. But depending on what it is. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
Right. So with gun control, a lot of people use the living breathing document they believe it is as a reason to. Oh snap! Can you see my screen right now?
I just yeah, I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to cut you off. But yeah.
Okay, we're back to normal. Let me just damn, it won't let me see. It won't let me get up there. So it's okay. We're here. All right. So and thank you. Thank you for not wanting to distract me in the middle of my shit where you're like, I'm not gonna say nothing. It's gonna be way off track if I say something right now.
Yeah, because I know already. If I throw one word out there, you're gonna be completely be off track, and you're gonna lose your thought. Bro, I know you. So,
well, so yeah. So with the Constitution, it's speaking about weapons. The attempt to listen. Everything that we hold dear to us is only held in place because the fact that we're allowed to hold weapons. When we talk about why do we need such heavy machinery, we can be held down because the Constitution tells us that if your government becomes shady, you have to have the strength at least to be a threat at least against your government
right,
in case they become something that is tyrannical, and you have to be able to have the weaponry in place to be a threat at least. So every
correct,
country on the planet that's ever tried to invade another country, including ourselves trying to invade someone like Iraq, found out if the people are armed, it's much more difficult. And even if it's, people are like, why can't you think you're gonna face tanks one day? You
the
think you're gonna face
civilians, correct,
the American army gonna fucking
yeah,
tactical drones on your ass?
right,
Well, if you force the US government to go into hand-to-hand combat and door-to-door search and seizure of weaponry, it's very difficult for them to feel like they can take us over. So that it's a threat that's always been against them, that keeps them at bay, that keeps them
right,
from becoming tyrannical. So someone like Donald Trump, that someone like yourself might be scared to death of, he was held at bay because he knew, for someone like you that might be afraid he's trying to do something crazy to take over, you know, there's
right,
not much he can do with us having the ability to stop him at any turn.
yeah. No, I think if you don't give now that you said that, and just thinking about my thought process, it does make it more difficult for the government in any country to invade another country or even within their own country and try to take it over when at random, literally random, all or not all, but a lot of people have weapons as well.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
They're gonna fight the fuck back, and that's what the fuck's gonna go down.
There's gonna be a
And yeah,
lot
you
of
might get
casualties.
yes, a lot of casualties because then at this point you're gonna have to fucking spray everybody who's in front of you,
Right.
and there is no
Especially with
spraying at
us,
this
like
point.
in Iraq, they had AK-47s and they had light
Right,
machine guns here and there. With
right,
us, with the way it is, the US government knows it's not going to be easy to just mandate some bullshit over this country because those people will fight back and they have the weaponry to do it.
right.
It keeps them
Like,
at bay.
I mean, honestly, you haven't been to my house, which one day you need to come over here so you can see what I have as weapons. I'm not gonna say what I have,
Right.
but you're gonna see, and you're gonna be like, okay, fucking A, crazy, right? So thinking about me as one person in this entire country, there's people out there who fucking have way more than I do,
Yeah.
and it's nothing to them. It's
Yeah.
not absolutely nothing. It's nothing to me too, but I already fucking know. Like for example, that one dude they found in fucking Mesa in his storage, This motherfucker had grenades, flamethrowers, all kinds of fucking right. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, he had a whole fucking a little army in inside his storage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did he come up on all that shit? This is America, bro. You can find anything and everything. And you don't know who the fuck has what, where, what. Shit is hidden everywhere, dude. So imagine trying to find, and that's one guy.
Right.
Who knows? And that he got exposed. Who knows how many other guys out there like him are at their house right now waiting for you to fucking trespass so they can blow you the fuck up.
That's
because
right.
they have the means to do so.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? So it's
right.
it's going to be very fucking hard to, again, you'd have to spray everybody because everybody's going to be, weapon or no weapon. You don't fucking know who's got what, so kill them all. That's where that shit comes from. You know what I mean? You don't fucking know what, kill them all. And that's fucked up because at that point there is no civilians. It's army versus army, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah. And all this
So
talk about civil wars and stuff, like, hey, if the Supreme Court was able to push this through somehow and nullify all these votes, and Donald Trump was put in place, a civil war would break out. Everyone's pushing the fact that a civil war would break out. What the fuck would that even? Does anyone even imagine? Okay, have you heard a lot of that talk?
yeah, but I couldn't even imagine what it would look like nowadays versus how it was back in
Right.
what, 17, whatever
Like
the fuck
what
it
the
was,
fuck?
bro.
Our neighborhood, your neighborhood, what are we gonna all like? Nobody's gonna go out in the streets and have
No.
If the
Fuck no.
Supreme Court came out, a bunch of people would riot just like they are in the. It would probably be at the level that you see riots today of breaking into a couple stores, vandalizing some shit, jacking some shit.
Right.
Conservatives don't go out and riot, first of all, so there wouldn't be many of them out there, like the people on the left that are afraid of like gun wielding conservatives out in the streets don't really do that kind of shit.
Right.
And they're not going to go out there and fight. And it might be a lot of like, young people. Imagine, okay, if Donald Trump was put in place because the Supreme Court ruled like, first of all, I don't see that happening, but if it were to happen,
right,
imagine the shock.
Yeah.
What the news media is setting us up for that shock. They're like, they have to have you in the feeling of, well, it's over. There's no way that would happen. So when it happens, which I don't think it will happen either, but if it happened, they have to make it such a shock to the system that'll make you, Manuel, want to go out in the streets and fight somebody because it happened. They have to make you feel so done such a dirty deed against you that you have to go out in the streets and fight. They're ignoring all the shit that's happening in the courts that I've been watching, dude, on my day off yesterday. I watched hours. I watched two and a half hours ridiculously of a stupid Rudy Giuliani fucking conference in the middle of Michigan.
Yeah.
I watched it live, and dude, it was the most ridiculous fucking. I don't even want to get on that right now, but I watched some of the craziest, stuff, and the regular news isn't going to talk about it. They're going to act like it doesn't exist, and what they talk about, they're going to say Rudy Giuliani was out talking some bullshit that's already been fucking discredited recently, so don't pay any attention to any of this bullshit.
It'll be a 30-second skit that they'll throw them out there, and onto the weather. You know how they do it.
Moving on,
do it like that every time.
Just so you know, Joe Biden, your president, and Trump did some bullshit today where he had Rudy Giuliani, that crazy fucking lawyer, with a bunch of citizens from Michigan talking about all the bullshit they saw this week. But don't pay any attention. Who gives a fuck? Which I have to admit, all that little shit isn't going to matter in the long run. It's the deep, dark secret that if it really happened, that's what would matter in the long run. And someone's got to uncover it. And if Giuliani can't do it, then no one's going to figure it out. And Joe Biden's our president. If Joe Biden's our president, we can deal with that shit. I can fucking handle the next 4 years of Joe Biden being our president. Within two months from now, he's probably going to be, as he admitted yesterday, too sick to continue on, and Kamala Harris is going to have to become our president. So Kamala Harris will probably be our president within no time. So please, Manuel, remember I said this at this moment.
Dude, I've already thought that shit when he announced her as the vice president of his whole campaign. Dude, that's the first thought that ran across my mind. Something's gonna happen to him.
Yes.
And she's gonna become president. And she'll be the very first fucking in all aspects. You already know what she's the first in. And that's what's gonna happen.
It's the plan, man.
And then the next election, which is what, 2024.
Yeah.
She may run another term. Now, question. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know this. If you are vice president, you become president, not by, you weren't elected. You were because of your spot. You basically got promoted. Do you have still that 1 term, 2 term thing? Or is it completely different and you can still run for 2 more terms thereafter that?
Oh, so yeah. So only 1 more term. You could serve. He could run in 2024 and become president, but only for 1 more term.
No. I'm talking about her. If something were to happen to him the next year or so, she takes over. And then in 2024, she runs. And then in 2028, can she run again?
No fucking clue.
I thought you would.
Damn, nobody's even talked about that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how does that ever happen? How does that happen? Like, what happens when the vice president becomes president within that term of the 4 years of the president already getting elected?
Like, what if it happened within the first 6 months and she becomes president, and within this first 6 months gets to work out that whole first 4 years, gets another 4 years? Does she get to run another 4 years?
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
I mean, how does that work? Is that information out there? Google that shit, motherfucker.
No,
I don't know.
There's an answer to that, yes.
Right. I just don't know
it. It'll take some deep Googling.
Right. But I mean, that's a question though, right? Because you would think that's kind of how it, to me, is being set up. And you know what I mean? Because again, what happened to
you thought way beyond anybody's ever thought, because nobody's talked about the beyond. I mean, you're talking straight 12 years, 11 years.
Right. And I'm not talking about this as a conspiracy. This is a legit question. Like, what's the answer to this question? I mean, this is some fucking mumbo jumbo bullshit. Oh, no, what the fuck? This is legit. Like, so basically, if she runs for 3 years, 3.5, runs for election 2024, wins. Okay, 2028, she only ran basically, she basically would have had 2 terms. However, though, she only got elected once. So if you only get elected once, then you should have it go again twice because you're allowed to be elected twice. You wasn't elected the first time.
You're talking deep change at that point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder how that works out. I don't think it's ever happened, but fuck, what happens if it does? Like, what's the answer to all that?
Wow.
And with that, I'm out. No.
Yeah. Hey, drop that fucking microphone and go get some food right now.
Right. You know what I mean?
That was good shit. I really appreciate it. So yeah, and that's fine, dude. Like, I think I'll go on and I'll just continue recording here as I look at my Twitter page and comments on some things, and I'll post this later on YouTube and share it on Facebook. I know you're about to get some food, so I don't want to keep you too long.
Nah, it's all good, brother. This has been a great conversation. Like I said, man, if you can find the answer to that question, let me know. That way I know, because I know you're a good researcher. So well,
it's nice to hear that you're curious about that, because isn't that something that isn't that something that you would be all in favor for? Wouldn't you appreciate that? You want Kamala Harris to be the president during this 4 years and then become the next 8 years after that?
Well, it's not about to me, okay, it's not about red or blue. It's just about how it works.
Would you like that? Would you be okay with that though?
If she basically what is that 8 and 11, so 11 and a half years or so, would I be okay with that? Dude, I'm okay with any fucking president, man or woman, as long as our fucking country is run the way it's supposed to be run and everything is good to go, bro. I don't give a fuck who's sitting in that seat. I've always thought about that. And now I get older, that's what I care about the most is who's gonna protect us as our country, as America. And if they don't fucking feel that way, then fuck no, you shouldn't be in the fucking seat, bro.
So
I mean, because
do you feel
at the
Joe
end of the
Biden
day,
is that way?
what's that?
Do you feel Joe Biden is that way, that person?
I feel like so I feel like he's talked about it. And before, when Biden was vice president with Barack, I didn't know anything about it because unfortunately I wasn't into politics at all then. I didn't follow Barack. I don't know really what the fuck happened. I know nothing really happened to myself as far as me personally goes. And the economy I know crashed in 2008. I wasn't affected by it, neither was my wife, because we both worked in the industries and we still do of things like that happen. We're not affected. I was in the auto industry and she's in the cable industry. When you're in certain industries, shit does not affect you. So I didn't see anything happen to us. And since then, we've been going upwards, even up until today. It's always been an uphill.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the whole recession, all shit like that, whatever happened, whatever, people losing jobs. And I don't know nothing about that, man. Because I've been in the auto field for so many years and she's been in the cable industry so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And none of that has affected us at all.
Right.
So I don't know.
Okay.
So it's just, I don't know.
I bet you in like 4 to 8 years from now, we'll look back and like this will all feel like a dream. Like it'll feel like, wait, Donald Trump was the president at some point in the middle of that. Like it'll feel like a continuance of the Obama administration with Joe Biden becoming president for another 4 years here. It will be like,
okay, so yeah, that's to answer your question because I forgot my train of thought. You know how we do it.
Yeah.
With Biden, as far as him being about that, so again, I know he has spoken about it, and I don't know how he was before with Barack, but at this point in time, if he's speaking about it, I'm hoping he's going to follow what he speaks about because, as we all know, when you're trying to go run for president, you say whatever the fuck you're going to say to get into that chair.
Yeah.
Once you get into that chair, either you're going to follow what you said, or you don't, or partial of it, or some bullshit. I don't fucking know. Right. Usually, to me, they never fucking follow what the fuck they talk about.
Right.
No matter what side. So they just push bullshit. Everybody believes whatever the fuck they believe, and all of a sudden they become elected president, then they become president. Then you're like, all right, now let's see what he has to do. Oh, well, fuck, man, he didn't say nothing. He didn't do nothing he was going to talk about, the entire election. Just didn't do shit he talked about, and that happens all the time. So to me, I have yet to see it, and hopefully it's going to be like that, but we'll see. But like we just talked about, that's Biden. If that fool becomes sick or ill or something happens to him in 6 months, then we're talking about Kamala. What's her thought process? Where is her mind at? Mm-hmm. What is she thinking about for us as Americans, as America? Mm-hmm. Can she even handle it? I don't know. I don't know nothing about her. This is the first time I ever heard of her, period. But again, I want to recently started following politics the last year or 2 years. Pretty much since the pandemic, really. Before that, not really.
You voted for her, though, right?
What's that? I did vote. And I did vote for Biden, yes. But I also the main reason why I voted was for Prop 207, brother. And that's about it.
It's one thing that I can appreciate out of Arizona becoming a supposed blue state is like finally enough people woke the hell up to be able to come out and vote that day for that part, at least.
Right.
I mean,
and I'm happy awesome. We fucking did. And people are saying, and they said, oh, it was the stupidest thing we could have done here in the state, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, Explain to me how putting money into our state from marijuana, getting rid of cartels marijuana, which involves violence and all kinds of other shit behind it, and putting it in clean marijuana, which we can grow in our own backyard inside our house now. We can go down to the dispensary, pick the shit up, not to worry about trying to get busted or do any kind of fucking weirdo shit to get it to get it. How was that bad?
Right.
Then they're saying, oh, it was bad because they didn't implicate or they didn't indicate the fact that the money, the revenue is not going to go to schools. And so you think that these fucking people are all about themselves and are not going to donate to schools or not going to donate to other shit to benefit our state or our community? How dumb is that? For people to say, oh, that was the dumbest thing because they didn't implement this or they didn't put this in there as well. Well, you know what?
I don't even know what the, with like
I was just going to
Colorado.
say that.
I remember
was
with
just gonna say
Colorado,
that.
they put like implications of, okay, this percentage of tax dollars goes to this educational system.
Right.
I don't even know
Right.
what it is in Arizona, and it's still like, I don't care. Whatever it is, figure it out.
Right. And supposedly they said they put nothing towards education in Arizona. But again, if I'm a big time fucking weed dealer in Arizona legally, of course, I have dispensaries, whatever, you're gonna have so much money, right? You tell
Yeah.
me you're not gonna donate to your fucking schools because your friends and your buddies and whoever the fuck else, your widespread chain and your whole connection, you're not gonna be worried about their kids or their future. Yeah, you are. So you're gonna put money into the schools, period. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah. Did
So
you
I
hear?
don't.
Did you hear that
Go
they passed it in the House today? They passed the bill in the House of Representatives on a national level. Did you hear about this today?
No, what happened?
So, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, the Schumer statement on ending the federal prohibition on marijuana following the House passing the MORE Act.
Yeah, so they that's crazy. This all of a sudden out of nowhere, while Trump is president, the House of Representatives, which is a Democratic House of Representatives, came out and passed this supposed, I don't know, decriminalization of marijuana. So
On a federal level, right?
on a federal level, which is,
Yeah.
if Trump would have done that, dumb fuck, if he would have done that way ahead of time, he would have got an extra 120 million votes out of this shit somehow.
Dude, Trump would have smashed the game if that
Yeah.
fool made it. Pandemic or not,
Right.
he would have fucking killed the game, bro.
But no,
Had he
he's
made that shit
scared
legal.
because the Republicans got him scared to do anything with legalizing marijuana on a federal level. But the House of Representatives went today, and a lot of Republicans voted for it along with the Democrats, so that's nice to
Right.
see.
Right.
And they voted to on a national level. I mean, we could read into this MORE Act, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The House passes the MORE Act.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now as you're speaking.
What if Donald Trump went and signed this thing? I mean, he would come down in history as the president that decriminalized marijuana. That fool needs to do some shit. I mean, do something for your legacy, goddammit.
Yeah, not just fucking be Mr. fucking whiny pants for fucking the pandemic and then do dick for nothing, and then all of a sudden you didn't win a second election, so now you're crying. I mean, that example, you know what I mean? It's fucking, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he has done good for our country, yes, because if he didn't, he probably
Manuel,
he'd
stop
probably
it.
would've.
Stop it.
What? He
Stop
hasn't?
it. Stop
He
it.
hasn't done.
What could he have done better to stop this pandemic?
No. What I'm saying is, I'm sure Trump has done good for our country, is what I'm saying, in whatever way, shape, or form that I don't even know about. So had he passed this on top of him doing whatever he did or didn't do with regard to the pandemic, he would have fucking been reelected, period.
And it's not him that passes bills, legislators,
Correct.
Congress, Senate has to do it. But
Right.
if he would have put the lead out there to say, hey, let's get this done, they would have done it.
Yeah, let's figure
But
it out. What the
he's
fuck?
afraid.
What do we gotta do?
He was afraid of the Bible Belt in the South revolting against him. And he should have known he wouldn't have got the revolt he thought he was going to get from it all. He would have been just fine, and those people would have woke up and been like, you know what? I don't care anymore either. Let's fucking drop this stuff. It's just marijuana. Fuck it. Stop it.
Right. But you and I both know Trump is not very bright.
No.
So
No, he's not.
That's why we are where we are, and he is what he is. Now, as far as to answer your question, what can he done differently with the pandemic? Though there's one thing he could have done, not downplay it. I mean, literally.
Manuel,
yes.
Think about this, bro. You're the president of the United States. This pandemic comes around.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
This pandemic comes around.
Right.
And you're like, how do we walk this fine line of letting people know this is happening, but at the same time, not scaring people way out of proportion to completely destroy everything in the world? So then you have to walk a fine line of alerting people, but at the same time, let's try not to destroy the economy. Well, guess what? Donald Trump followed Anthony Fauci's recommendations and shut down the economy for 15 days to flatten the curve. So
right.
15 days to flatten the curve all of a sudden turned into 380 days, whatever it's been now.
Right.
And he followed the recommendations of Anthony Fauci, who has been so wrong on so many different levels over and over again, and the media praises him. And Donald Trump gets hated on from the right because people say, how could you follow this fucking idiot who's leading you down a path of destruction on purpose to avoid you ever being the president for another 4 years? Only for that reason. Anthony Fauci knew damn well, he knows right now, wearing masks, which Donald Trump supported at the advice of Anthony Fauci, hasn't worked, and it doesn't work. And shutting down the economy is worse than this virus's impact on our economy. Period.
All right. Rebuttal. Here you go. So I understand what you just said, and I'll tell you what happened. What happened was, and how all this got fucked up. For one, Fauci has been doing this shit for fucking ever. Him and Dr. Birx, right? Doing this shit for years. They went through how many fucking pandemics, how many fucking viruses, diseases, all that shit, right?
You're right.
So now, another thing, things change all the time. So if one doctor's saying one thing, another one's saying another thing, you can't say that the doctor's fucking wrong and completely an idiot because things have changed. The virus kept changing. It kept affecting certain people when it first came out, which old people. Then it went to younger people, then it went to infants, then blah, blah, blah. Now it bounced everywhere, right? That happened. However, what made it fucking worse than anything is the protesting that we had because of the cops killing Black people. Had that not happened in between time, the protesting, all that shit, the whole flattening of the curve, all that would have been fucking done, bro. Wearing masks, sanitizing, all that shit does help because you're not spreading shit. When you're not touching your face, you're not touching yourself, you're not touching your mouth. It does help. Now, is it 100%? No, it's not 100%, but it's going to help minimize the effects and the cost. All that shit is really what fucking happened. I'm not blaming Trump for anything. The only thing I am blaming him for is how he handled certain things and what he could have done better. Correct.
Okay.
However,
it's easy.
Hold on. It's always easy to say in hindsight. I understand that. Don't get me wrong, but that's my opinion, and that's a lot of other people's opinions as well. However, now Right, him not working on a plan to take care of what the fuck was going on top of the whole Black Lives Matter shit, on top of the movements, on top of the riots, on top of the fucking people getting
Everything.
shot, everything. For him not to have a game plan to solve all that shit, that's Trump's problem.
All that
Because he's the
shit.
president. Because he's the president of the United States, right? That's all his problem.
Yeah.
So he did nothing about any of that shit and just wanted to sweep everything under the fucking rug and was like, hey, it's all good. No worries. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. That's what I mean by him fucking downplaying this shit and not addressing shit like he should have. He should have fucking stood the fuck up and say, hey, you know what? Whatever the fuck, we're gonna take care of this, we're gonna take care of that. This is how we're gonna fucking do it. We're not gonna fucking be on the fucking streets. We're not gonna be fucking rioting. I understand this is what the fuck happened, but we can't do nothing about that right now. We're dealing with something bigger than that, which is our fucking lives with this fucking pandemic. And then we'll address that shit when this shit's over. But he do none of that, bro.
Okay, so Trump's inability to do any of that, what you just spoke of, might have cost him this election. And I agree with you.
It costed him anyway.
How
You know what I mean?
Manuel, how easy would it have been to manipulate the situation into your benefit, right? Like, you're not a president who can play on the heartstrings of America, who can benefit from this situation. Like, the left, everybody in politics, matter of fact, says, do not let a disaster go to waste. You benefit from that disaster. You don't fucking take a negative from it.
Right.
So Donald Trump's inability to protect himself, build a coalition around himself. He's got every department against him. The Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, all of them are against him because one scary thing, Manuel, one scary thing. Because this deep state that people throw around is a real thing, which is a fucking weird thing. But the deep state, the idea of having these people who have been in politics for many, many, many years is a real thing. And they're showing their face right now.
Right.
Bill Barr, this dude, Bill Barr, the Attorney General.
Yeah.
He's part of the deep state to the fact. I mean, so much has been turned over to him over the last year, and he's done nothing with any of it.
Yep.
This dude is continuing. He's protecting Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He's protecting Joe Biden, and Donald Trump is not liked by any of them because he doesn't play along. He's like some weird third-party individual coming out of nowhere that's not part of the system. He's this weird businessman who's always worked the system, but he's not part of the system.
Correct.
Which is weird as hell to them, and they can't handle it. So,
yeah, they don't know what to do because they never had an idea. They never had somebody like Trump within the position of them basically being their boss.
Because George Bush was part of the machine. They continued on their war machine the way that they wanted, so they had no problems with that. Barack Obama continued on their war machine, so they had no problem with that. They didn't fight against it. All of a sudden, Donald Trump comes around, wins some weird freak election, fights against the war machine, starts pulling troops out of Syria, starts pulling troops out of Afghanistan.
Right.
And this war machine, including the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, the CIA, the FBI, has worked against them. And I think they're now at the point where they're like, fuck him. He's so crazy and out of hand. He's out of pocket so much. We can't let this continue on.
Right.
We have to fight against it. We'll do whatever we have to do to get him out of office. I think they all had a hand in it, and it's going to be extremely difficult to prove for anybody. All these little cases going on here and there are going to be listened to and completely dismissed, and no one's going to move. Everyone's going to move on from it.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make a difference in any of this election bullshit is for the Supreme Court to get a hold of it and
Yeah.
say this many votes in Pennsylvania has been null and void because of this melon voting debacle that we've been talking about for months was going to happen, which did
Yeah.
happen, just as I said it was going to happen on many
Yeah.
videos ago.
Right.
Happened that exact way that we said it was going to happen. And now, as long as the media continues to tell you that there's nothing to even look at, stop looking over here. Please stop looking because there's nothing to see.
Yeah.
You're going to continue to not look. And
Yeah.
when it happens, if it were to
Right.
happen,
Yeah.
you're going to be so shocked. You're going to want to go out in the streets and fucking riot because you're going to be like, he stole this shit from us. And the media told us for the last 3 months that everything was fine and Joe Biden was our president. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump's stealing this shit back. When he's going through the proper channels, I've watched so many hours of court cases the last couple weeks that
Yeah.
it's crazy the shit that I've seen that's been people are testifying to. Everyday people, Indian women, black women, white women, black men, white men testifying to weird shit occurring. To me, none of that matters. All that little stuff doesn't even matter. There's some sort of systematic deep government cover up happening right now. And I sound like a fucking crazy conspiracy theorist, which I've never been before. And I've fought against them all this time. But now I sound like one of them. And I don't even fucking care anymore because, dude, for people
I
who
hear
pay
you, bro.
attention, we see
Yeah.
this shit. People who
Yeah.
pay attention, we see this shit.
And then
You
we're considered
normies
crazy.
out there, you normies on Facebook who fucking get this once every day. You might check in on a meme or two. You
Right.
get your information from CNN once or twice a week.
Right.
You don't
It's
know
all
what's happening. And it's not
it's all bullshit.
conspiracies. It's real
No.
news that's
Yes.
happening from real reporters, and we're
Yes.
getting real fucking feedback.
Yes. And the shit they're sharing and all the shit that is being out there on TV, like you said, I'm not just saying CNN, I'm talking about all news media, period. Except for the real shit which is on the internet only. Only the real shit's on the internet. All the shit you see on TV is fake as fuck. All of it. From every fucking name a newscaster out there, name a fucking news
Thank
station,
you.
all that shit.
Thank you.
It's all
Yes.
fake. It's all fake. Now, when Trump talks about this, he says fake news. I think now thinking about it, he's talking about that. Not saying that it's fake news as far as like, just because they disagree with them. No, because the news itself is fucking bullshit. They put what they want to put out there. They tell you what they want, what they think you want to hear. And they basically herd you into a cattle and point you in directions in which they want you to move in. They want you to understand this in this way. They want you to see it in this way. Everything has to go in this manner. Now it's all about control. That's what the fuck people talk about, right? It's all about control. And that's what the fuck they do.
Yes.
So that's why I feel, me personally, I feel alleviated that I don't follow the news like that. I really do. And I get my information from talking to people like yourself or doing my own research or listening to people who are kind of in the same mindset of how we think. That to me is the real answers. That's where you're gonna get the real shit at. That's where you're gonna figure shit out. But what do they call those people? Fucking conspiracy theorists, right? You're
Right.
fucking nuts. You're crazy. You're making that shit up. Where's the proof? Well, fuck, bro.
Which
All
that
your
used to
fucking
be a
mind.
smaller circle of people at one point. That was like the
Yeah.
smaller circle of people that were these conspiracy theorists of fucking wackos.
Right.
And now the CNN has just broadened that fucking circle of people to this way, way broader spectrum of people now that I'm considered a conspiracy theorist where I hate fucking conspiracy theorists.
Right. And
I have all this knowledge of stuff that's occurred that they don't want to talk about, that the USA Today comes out with a story and says X, Y, and Z happened. I talk about it, and CNN puts a fucking link on your page that says, hey, this has been disputed and is considered conspiracy theory. USA Today already, I'm just reporting what USA Today said.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's hard to be proven a proven fact from one outlet, but yet if that outlet goes to a person like yourself or me,
Right.
puts it out on another outlet,
Right.
and another outlet picks it up and says, hey, that's bullshit.
Right.
What the fuck? Like, wait a minute, how is that bullshit? Because I heard it from this source, and just because I'm saying it, and I may not have the exact fucking verbatim words, I'm bullshit? What the fuck? How does that work out? How does that work out, dude? Please answer that. How the fuck does that even work out? It doesn't at all.
Well, when 90% of the people are just lighthearted individuals who don't really pay attention to the day-to-day stuff,
right?
They see these things and they easily say, all this, I mean, easily. Imagine how easy it is as if you're someone who don't pay attention at all to say, all this stuff, man, whatever, Donald Trump, like, you're just trying to be a big baby. The big word is temper tantrum. He's just throwing a big fit and having a temper tantrum and trying to remain the president.
Yeah.
Dude.
So you're talking about everything this fool's talked about, whatever the fuck. You're talking about, so you're saying he's just a big baby, he's throwing temper tantrums? Come on, bro.
Right.
Come on, man.
Hey, now that I'm getting this on record right now on a recorded video, let me ask this question. Imagine if you felt Joe Biden was robbed of an election and you wanted to fight it because you had clear evidence that something occurred, so you wanted to fight it. What does our country have set up to protect against feeling violated? What rules does our country have set up to help with people who have grievances to fight election disagreements? There is none.
There is none, because it doesn't happen. It's supposedly,
it never happens.
Presented to you, right?
Everything's fine. We always understand who the fucking president is, so we never have an argument.
Right.
So what if it does happen?
Then what?
So we have that right now, and no one knows how to deal with it. All these local governments, all these local state representatives are trying to fight it in these little local court cases, showing all these witnesses come up and give all their fucking opinions. Well, that's always happened in the past.
Right.
Whether you've had like 300 votes here and there changed on a recount and 600 votes here and there changed on a recount. But you never had the idea of the software itself used only in these really close states called Dominion, where they're allowed to use the software to run our votes through Venezuela that gets uploaded to Siberia in Russia.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Let's get real conspiracy theorists. Where our votes get uploaded to Siberia in Russia, where the United States military just did a raid on a compound in Siberia, Russia, to get these servers that were counting the ballots that were posted in America for some reason.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about those couple little things?
I have, and it's all been like basically, I mean, how can you say, like more like a fable, like just like a whisper in the air.
Right.
But I never looked into it. I didn't pay attention to it. But again, I don't let nothing go anymore.
Like, is that real?
I'm older now.
That's not real.
Like
that shit didn't happen. I heard that on some weird ass fucking one little thing, and then I heard it again where it was like, oh shit, maybe it did happen, because now I heard it on this news guy. It wasn't just some weird little agency I heard it from. So
Right.
now Rudy Giuliani is talking openly about how the United States government raided a compound in Siberia, Russia, to take over some servers in regards to the Dominion voter software. This shit is openly talked about now, and nobody is interested on CNN to even hear, to even talk, to put one segment about it on the news for the night. You don't think that's going to
No,
get any ratings for the night?
no. You want to know why? Because you and I both know the answer. People don't pay attention, bro. People don't give two fucks.
And you can hide it.
Yeah, and you can hide it in plain sight. And
Easy.
that's what you and they always tell you that. The best spot to hide something is in plain sight because people don't pay attention.
It's like, hey, everybody, look at this video Rudy Giuliani's talking about tonight. It shows a
Yeah.
compound of U.S. military soldiers raiding this compound in Siberia, Russia, supposedly. And here they are taking servers out of this compound. Look at them. It's in night vision and everything, guys. And it shows them pulling the servers out and running it into these vans and escaping into the middle of the night. What a bunch of fucking idiots. They believe this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, brother. That's the life we live in, dude. That's where we stay. This is our life. This is our country. This is the world, bro. This is the world.
I seriously hope Donald Trump does not somehow find a way to become president for the next 4 years, because I'm going to enjoy tearing apart every little fucking thing that I've said is going to happen in this administration of Joe Biden's. And it's every single thing's going to happen, and we're going to watch it and we're going to fucking laugh about it.
Yeah. Again, but you and I have brought up two key points that there is no answer for, I believe. I don't think there really is. I think there might be, I guess, what do they call when they're not facts? Theories. Theories. That's what they're called. When they're not facts, and they can't be fact, they're called theories. So mine was, what happens to the vice president if they become president, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
Yours was the fact of how this went down. They don't know how to handle it because it's never happened before. So what is the procedures on shit like this? What do we do? You know what I mean? Like,
and what can we put in place for future elections to avoid this feeling that we might have? Anybody
yes,
shouldn't have this feeling inside that I have right now, that your
right,
vote didn't fucking matter and
right,
somehow somebody stole it from you.
right. So like, what the fuck do you? Oh man, you know what's crazy? My first time voting, and here we are with this shit.
Yeah. That is a
This is why I
crazy.
never voted.
You're going to be talking about in 20 years from now, you're going to be talking about that.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I voted for nothing. And I keep
be
saying
like,
that to myself 40 years before now. I was always saying, told all my life, there's no point in fucking voting. They're gonna do what the fuck they want anyway. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Okay, fine. Let me vote. And this is what the fuck I told you. They don't give two fucks about your vote. They're gonna do what the fuck they want. Oh
it's
my
gonna be like
god.
my dad. My dad always said, the first time I ever voted and the last time I voted, son, was the time I voted for Richard Nixon. And I realized I'm a dumbass and never voted again. But like,
I
but
did
that's
that
gonna be
long.
like, I voted for the first time for a president who knows who the fuck if it counted or not. But that's who I voted for, and I never voted again because it didn't matter ever again.
Yep. Hey, your dad had it on point, brother.
Yeah, you're never gonna. I mean, this thing was happening in Georgia. I don't know if you're following this, but the runoff that's going to happen in Georgia now, the re-election that's going to happen in January
For the
5th.
for the Senate, right? Or whatever it is, something like that. They're talking about.
Yeah, for the Senate, man, it's a big deal. The
Yeah.
Senate,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
national
huge.
Senate, not just the state Senate. The whole
Correct.
fucking kit and caboodle is up to fucking grabs here.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
are saying on my side, who gives a fuck if you go vote or not? Because if you're going to allow them to steal the election again like they did last time, who gives a fuck what they would? All these people are arguing on Twitter about voting for the Republican or not voting for the Republican, because who cares? The Republicans in place right now aren't even fighting for what just happened, the theft that just occurred. They're not even coming out and speaking about it. These two
Not at all.
Republican senators who are up to vote again.
Yeah.
So they're like,
And then you go ahead.
so they're like, so the usual term would be, hey, this means everything. Go vote for the Republican senators.
Right. Yeah.
Because your life depends on it. And the other side is saying, who gives a fuck who you go vote for right now? Because those Republicans aren't even doing anything about what's happening to the president. They're hiding in the corners, in the shadows somewhere. They're not even coming out and talking about what happened in their own state of Georgia, where a huge theft has just occurred. So don't even go vote for those two Republicans, because who gives a fuck? It's going to be the same if a Democrat gets those two votes, right? Those two Senate seats. There's two Senate seats, both up for revote on January 4th in Georgia. If two of them go Democrat, the Democrats hold the majority in the Senate and the House, and Chuck Schumer becomes the majority leader of the Senate.
Right.
And Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, and Joe Biden's the president. Next thing you know, America's a communist country. Yeah. But that's a scary thought to conservatives. So they're supposed to go vote for the Republicans to stop that from happening.
Yes.
But the argument is, who gives a fuck who you go vote for? Because if they're allowed to do what they just did a couple weeks ago, what the fuck makes you think you're going to do anything different to stop them from becoming the Democratic nominees at that point? They got your asses to a point where if they really did this fraud that you think happened, there's no stopping them becoming the next senators of Georgia. You're going to have two Democrat senators from Georgia, which is unheard of. And this shit's all going crazy because of COVID, which has caused mail-in voting, which has occurred to help all this along, to make all this happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it wasn't for COVID, who the fuck would be our president without any fucking doubt right now? We all know, because the way the economy was going. So if coronavirus never came around, we all know where we would be. So how do we stop that from happening? Because we can't let this racist tyrant be our president any longer. We got to do whatever we got to fucking do to stop it. I don't give a fuck what it is. Even if it's blowing up a coronavirus into something it's not, to shut down the economy, it's going to happen.
Dude, this whole coronavirus changed the game. This election, bro.
Yeah.
This year, this whole period.
Yep.
Fucking changed it all. Changed the way people think, changed the way people see things. It changed the world, bro.
And you've seen all the shit that happened with the pre-meetings before coronavirus happened with Bill Gates and all this bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All this shit is somehow been implemented. This has not come upon us by accident. This shit has been implemented somehow.
Oh. Just like AIDS in 1982.
Man, that's more of a conspiracy theorist than the coronavirus being overplayed to throw an election.
Right. I tell you what, brother, this type of shit, bro. If people were to see this fucking video and join our conversations right now, bro, our shit would be on the internet being blown the fuck up, dude.
Yes.
But they have no fucking idea, for one. For two, which is even worse than number one, they don't give two fucks, bro. They do not. I'm telling you, bro, people don't give two fucks, bro. They don't. And that's unfortunate. And that sucks. And it's horrible. It's horrible. how much people do not care anymore. And especially after what we've all been through this entire year. It just completely fucked it all up.
Hmm.
Completely downgraded everything. Everybody got fucked from it. Everybody went nuts.
And
Everybody
everyone was
lost
sitting
control.
good at the beginning. They were like, hey, I'm getting these government checks. I'm getting unemployment at the same time. I'm living
Yep.
better than I've ever lived before.
Yep. And now when I say cut the fuck off, they're like, wait a minute. What the no more money. Okay, so what am I gonna do now? Oh, fuck, I can't get a job. I can go out there. I'm not gonna get a fucking job. Be around fucking people. Fucking pandemic's happening right now. And then it's all downhill, bro.
So
All
now,
fucking went downhill.
so now the great reset is going to come to the rescue, and it's going to
Right.
make you all feel very comfortable when we start sending you these government checks that devalues the dollar and causes inflation to go up. And next thing you know, the dollar's not worth shit, and all that money that they sent to us is worth nothing. But
Yep.
people don't get any of that. As long as you send me a check that says $1,200, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be happy. And
Yeah.
in the long run, you don't understand that just got diminished to nothing. You got $600 basically, not 1,200.
Simplicity, bro, is why.
We don't
Simplicity.
understand how this shit works. We don't get it.
No. And it's not even it's again, like you said, I guarantee you about a good, I would say maybe 80% of the people don't understand it.
Hmm.
You said
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
Between 80 to 90.
And that's a
Between 80 and 90,
big,
don't get
big,
it.
big ass number. And a huge percentage of those people voted,
Yes. Yes, they did. Yes, the fuck they did.
especially with the ability to just mail in vote. Like, hey, I got this fucking piece of mail. I've never even seen one of these before. What the fuck is this? I can just check off Biden's name. All right. Let me send that bitch
Right.
off.
Right. And then you got those people where they got it right. Like, well, whoever's gonna give me money, that's who I'm gonna vote for. What the
Yeah.
fuck kind of thought process is that, bro?
Right. Whoever's gonna give me money is who I'm gonna vote for. All right.
Oh
So
my god.
hey, I'm about to get off of here because my throat hurts so bad. You can probably hear it in my voice. But
Yes,
can
yes,
you can see my screen right now?
yeah,
All right. So look at this. Look at this Twitter conversation I had with this dude. He was commenting about the Congress, the United States House of Representative passing a federal prohibition of marijuana law today, right?
right,
So that happened, and this guy comments, Sahil Kapoor puts the 5 Republicans who voted yes and the 6 Democrats who voted no on there, right?
right.
So this dude Oliver McTavish, nerdy looking bastard, McTavish wrote, reminder that moderates are more harmful to the Democrat parties than progressives. And I wrote, yeah, if you're a communist.
I prefer the term democratic socialist. Thank you very much.
he said, don't call me a communist. I prefer democratic socialist like AOC. Thank you, because that's much more accepted in today's society. So I said, yeah, I bet you do. Just like the rest of them trying to hide their true nature, exposing themselves for what they truly are, evil anti-American communist trash. And he said, wow, rude. So rude.
And you got
Oh,
hillbilly scum.
who's Hillbilly Scum? Hey, you read Hillbilly Scum's part. Go.
You realize the socialist is supposed to be democratic by definition, right? It's a term for people that can't think for themselves and just push what Bernie was selling because it sounds nice without knowing the details. No government here is going to be progressive, as he put in bunny rabbit ears, which is called parentheses, anytime soon.
Anytime soon. And he says, socialism is democratic. You're right. You know, I love the intelligent conversation you get on Twitter. See, This is with a bunch of random ass people I don't even know. On Facebook, you don't get that because it's only people you know, your friends, your
Correct.
family. No one wants
Yes.
to fucking argue with you about that shit. On Twitter, you get jackasses who want to argue with you all day, and you get to exercise your ability to fucking debate on these assholes. So that's what that is.
Yeah. Hey, it gives everybody an outlet to debate. Period.
Yeah. And people
Fuck
get to
Twitter.
hear your
Twitter's whack.
message. But you know what? Like, I have like such a small amount of followers on Twitter that people always use that to clown on me. They're like, "Who the fuck are you, smarty pants, with your 42 followers or something?" Like,
That's because you have a small circle that you're trying to get out to. You're
what?
not just trying to be some type of popular fucking. You're not meant to have this account because I want to be fucking popular and have thousands of tweeters following me. No, I want to teach something. That's what I'm doing, jackass.
Right. And I've never known how to use Twitter in that manner. So what if I'm a little less skilled and never tried to benefit from the all the benefits of Twitter may offer you of having many followers? I've never
Right.
tried for it before. So now I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's a way to try for gaining followers on here. So I need to try to do that. You could always reach me at Medic602 on Twitter. You can find me at Medic the Sound God on YouTube. Manuel, do you have anything you want to drop? Any kind of plug you want to put down?
No goddamn plug, bro. You know me. I say incognito.
Okay. I like it. Incognito, bro, all day, every day.
That way they leave me the fuck alone.
Thank you. All
Ain't
right.
gonna come knocking on my fucking door, send me all kinds of weird ass emails and shit. Fuck you. Shit,
Hey.
I didn't forget, bro. I'm still black and I'm Hispanic.
All right. I thank you for helping me through this first session of a Zoom meeting. I'm going to try to post this on YouTube as a real video. I'll see if I need to cut any of it up if it'll let me, but I really appreciate your time on here. And we only got to touch a couple little topics, and that was awesome. So maybe we
Yeah.
have some other deeper shit we can get into next time.
Oh, I'm sure when you post this shit, people will be all over it, brother.
All right.
I tell you,
Man.
we've been need to do this, you and I, because I mean, fuck, this is how we do it.
All right,
So,
man. All right.
but yeah,
Thank you
brother,
so much,
it's
dude.
always good as always. Shit, what are you doing this weekend?
No plans. I got to work tomorrow.
What the fuck on a Saturday?
On a Saturday. Every other Saturday, I usually got to work, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow, only until 2:30, and I'll be home.
That's the corporate bullshit.
Trying to do that airsoft that you need to get on. Maybe you need to think of still.
I'm not doing that shit for 6 hours, bro.
It's 4 hours.
Fuck that. Are you gonna do that tomorrow or no? Well, you don't know yet.
I'm thinking on Sunday.
On Sunday. Well,
Yeah.
fuck. I ain't got no plans at this point in time. I ain't even talked to the wife yet. Who knows what the fuck she may or may not want to do. Let me know when you get off work. Maybe we'll chill.
All right, man. I thank
All
you.
right, brother. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Peace.
All right.